Hello everyone, it's David here from Beyond the Kingdoms, and today I'm continuing my coverage of the new Animal Kingdom Winter Festival with my complete review of the experience. In case you missed it, make sure you watch my full guide video to this event that I posted back on Sunday. I give you full details on entertainment offerings, character locations, and so much more. But today, I just want to focus on my personal experience and my thoughts of this event, which is absolutely incredible. So let's start by taking a look at the offerings inside Discovery Island. Now, like I said in my guide episode, Discovery Island is not only the hub of the park, but the real heart and soul of this event. And that's because both during the day and night, there's some great little new details. Now, I have to admit that in my guide episode, I referred to this as the Magical Menagerie, but this is in fact called Merry Menagerie. And these winter animal puppets are absolutely beautiful. This is a great example of how Disney doesn't have to rely on Disney characters to create good entertainment in the parks. All that handcrafted work and hand-painted design really works well with the overall aesthetic of this park, which always focuses on natural elements. And the best part is that there's no specific time for this. This starts at 10 a.m. and just carries on until the sun goes down. So no matter what time you enter the park, you're going to stumble upon this great piece of streetmosphere, which actually leads me to my next point. I myself and other bloggers and YouTube channels have recently reported that there have been some big entertainment cutbacks across all of the parks in Disney World. And that is certainly true, because one really popular band that was over in Harambe recently ended their run. Now, while there are some shows which are not running anymore, I'm here to tell you that entertainment is still alive and well, specifically in Animal Kingdom. I was really lucky to get a great spot to watch the Harambe Village acrobats, which always draws in a big crowd. These guys are absolutely amazing. I love it. And Africa also still has the drummers at certain parts of the day and other musicians roaming around the land. So the electric energy in the area is definitely still there. And something else I got to experience this time was Bollywood Beats. I've been trying to watch the show for many months now, but every time I attempted to see them, I got rained out. But I'm so happy I finally got to see them during this time of year because they have a new version of their show that focuses on Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights. And all of those lanterns around the theater area are fantastic. If you get to pass through here at night, the sight of all of those colorful lanterns is absolutely breathtaking. So please don't think that there's no entertainment to be had or Animal Kingdom's original spirit of entertainment has been completely erased, because it's definitely still there. Now, since there are some new additions to the park for this time of year, and certain lands like Dino-Land have become much better to visit during the evening hours, I want to finish today's review with a suggested itinerary of how to best explore and enjoy this park during the holidays. So let's start with some Fastpass choices. Alright, as you know, you get to pick 3 Fastpasses before you visit any of the theme parks at Disney. And at Animal Kingdom, your first Fastpass can be one of the 2 attractions in Pandora, and the remaining 2 can pretty much be anything else in the park, ranging from the safari, the big shows like Lion King and Nemo, and the thrill rides in Asia. No matter who is in your group, I always recommend to everyone I know that you book Flight of Passage for your first Fastpass choice. And actually, I would suggest booking it for the last hour of the day, and I'll talk about why a little bit later in my itinerary section. Even if you have little ones who are too short to ride this, I still recommend booking this for the adults, because it is Disney World's best ride at the moment and the one that sees the longest wait times. And don't worry, I'll tell you the best way to get on Navi River Journey without waiting in a long line. For your second Fastpass choice, again, I tell everyone I know, definitely book the safari, because that's the next best attraction to get on at Animal Kingdom. Now, your third Fastpass choice is kind of a freebie and depends on what's most important to you and your family. Personally, I tend to book the Lion King show, and that's because I find it easier to do standby at the Nemo show. The Africa corner of Animal Kingdom gets really busy with the safari, people coming out of Pandora, and people going to Tusker House for a meal. So the traffic's quite heavy here, and a lot more people stumble into the Lion King show. So that's why I like to book that one. And I like to do single rider line over at Expedition Everest. I'm sure groups of just adults don't mind splitting up, but if you have little ones and that is important over the Lion King shows, you can simply swap them out. And at this time of year, I don't personally go on Kali River Rapids because it's a little bit cold to get wet. So I assume either you're going to be skipping it too, or if you aren't going to do it, the good news is that the line's pretty short at this time of year. So those are my Fastpass choices that I would recommend doing for this time of year. Now, let's talk about the itinerary and how to tour the park. Now, there's always a lot of different ways to tour the theme parks at Disney, depending on what's most important to your group. But I think this general suggested plan that I have could work for almost everybody. You can swap out little specific details, but the general outline will work across the board. The best thing to do is to definitely rope drop and go straight to Na'vi River Journey. And when I mean rope drop, I mean get there even 30 minutes before the park opens. On my visit to Animal Kingdom recently, I got to the park at around 8:20, was able to go through the turnstiles and travel to Discovery Island, and wait at the bridge to Pandora until the land officially opened at 9. And since everyone's usually going to Flight of Passage, going to Na'vi River Journey first is a quick and easy way to get on that boat ride. This is why I suggest booking Flight of Passage later in the day. If you rope drop properly, you can be in and out of Na'vi River Journey by 9:15 and start heading over to Africa, where you'll use your first Fastpass of the day on Kilimanjaro safaris. Now, despite getting here quite early, around 9:30ish, I still would recommend doing a Fastpass here between 9:30 and 10:30 because those first 30 minutes of the park opening time are really crucial. Lots of people will be going to the safari, so having that early morning Fastpass will just speed things up, and it guarantees that you see the animals bright and early because feeding time is usually in this first hour of the day. Then after exiting the safari, if you want to see more animals, you can easily go through the Gorilla Falls Trail, and then finish your trip to Africa by going to the Festival of the Lion King show. This is where I would put my second Fastpass choice. After the show, if you're a little bit hungry, you've got some great options here. I personally love Harambe, or you can be doing a character meal for lunch at Tusker House. The next move would be to move on over to Asia and keep touring the tour clockwise. However, I would make a slight detour at this point and travel through Discovery Island, just to see those beautiful animal puppets. Now, the reason I say to do this here is because they start at 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you rope drop like I did, you'll miss it at 9 o'clock. If this detour is too much for you, you can simply go through here after going on Na'vi River Journey and before going to Kilimanjaro safaris in Africa. The choice is yours. I just like to try to get those animals in as early as I can. Then, after this little side trip to Discovery Island, you can travel through Asia. Even if you're not doing a Fastpass for things like Expedition Everest, it should still be relatively early in the day, so even a 30 or 40-minute wait really won't back you up that much. Again, the single rider line here will definitely speed things up. And if you still want to see some animals, you've also got the Maharaja Jungle Trek at the back of Asia. Now, another reason why I suggest to do things in this order for this time of year is so that you get to Dino Land at around 5 o'clock, right after the sun goes down. And that's because this land has the most amount of Christmas lights for the holidays. Donald's Dino-Bash is still going on, and this is also a great place to meet some characters. And if you tour it like I did and arrive after 5 p.m., the lines to meet these guys will be much, much shorter. I knocked out Scrooge, Launchpad, and Daisy all within about 30 minutes. If you want to get on Dinosaur, you should still have plenty of time to get on that. And again, because it's later in the day, the standby line will be relatively short. I would just make sure you get out of Dinoland around 6:30-ish, and that's if the park is closing at 8. And that's so that you can travel through Discovery Island again and watch the evening projection show, before finishing the loop in Pandora for the last hour or so of the night. And this is where you'll use that third Fastpass for Flight of Passage. So basically, you do a nice easy clockwise loop around the park. If you rope drop properly and get there early, you can do Navi River Journey, travel through Africa, detour through Discovery Island before going back to Asia, Dinoland, and end the night again in Pandora. This also allows you to see the land both in the daytime and the evening. Now, I do know that the one thing I've left out of this plan is Rivers of Light. Now, I personally am not a huge fan of this show. So much so that I would much rather skip it and watch the projection show on the Tree of Life as opposed to watching the Lagoon show. The good news is at this time of year, because the sun sets much earlier, there are 2 showings of Rivers of Light, and the first is at 6:30. So depending on what you do beforehand, you can watch the first show of Rivers of Light and still end your evening in Pandora. Of course, the other alternative is if you had lunch at Tusker House or Tiffin's, you could do a dining package that gets you reserved seating for the show. I personally think there are plenty of other nighttime shows to watch at Disney at this time of year, and it's not a big deal if you skip it. So guys, the Animal Kingdom Winter Festival is truly a great addition to Disney World for the holidays. It gives you just enough new festive entertainment for this time of year without pulling away too much of the regular year-round offerings. The decorations around the park are absolutely beautiful and provides a fresh perspective of what we're used to seeing around all the other theme parks. For those of you who are sick of all the Christmas songs and the Santa hats, this event is fantastic and just for you. The only thing I think is a little bit of a downer is that there's not a lot of Animal Kingdom specific holiday merchandise. I only found 1 shirt and 1 ornament that is specific to this winter festival. I think there's a giant missed opportunity for not creating any sort of plush dolls or toys that reflect Merry Menagerie, but there are some winter animal plush toys over in Island Mercantile. If things go over well this year, I think Disney will definitely up the ante with this event in 2020. So there you guys have it, my complete review of the Animal Kingdom Winter Festival, now taking place at Walt Disney World. Stay tuned later this week for my Foodie Friday video, highlighting some of the holiday treats inside this park, and this week's Sunday main show with a full guide to the 2019 Festival of the Holidays at Epcot. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.